they did what they were supposed to do. You know what I mean? They still looked pretty good against Chattanooga. So it's a lot of parity right now in college football. I think Big 12 is possibly the deepest conference. To me, they have the most teams that could possibly come out of the Big 12. Like out of any other conference, they're probably the deepest. Baylor looked how we thought that they would look.
Mm-hmm.
Probably even better than what we thought that they actually would look. Honestly, I'll say that because the defense was flying around the ball. You could tell that they're coached now by Aranda. Like you could tell that they're actually like getting play calls by Aranda. Just how they're running around and tackling. It reminded me a lot of when Petrie was on the team about 2 years ago. So I'm excited as a fan and just as a football fan to see Baylor. I feel like when Baylor is good, college football is better. Like it's a few teams that like when they're good, like Miami, when they're good, or Baylor, like I said, or even Tennessee. Like I like when those start. It's a few teams in college football. Whenever they're good, to me, it's better for football. Even USC, and I'm not even really just a fan of them. But when USC is good in football, to me, it's better. It's just better for college football as a whole.
Yeah, no, I agree. It builds some morale whenever the top teams that are supposed to be winning, like a USC, like a Miami, are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they did what they're supposed to do this last weekend. Kyrell, what are some things that stood out to you, man, from this last weekend?
Man, the quarterback play.
Yeah,
like it's some talented quarterbacks in play right now. And most of them are freshmen in my eyes. Like some of these high school kids that I'm talking about, Nico, I'm not going to say his last name because
I'm not going to try it either.
But yeah, that kid there, his stat line was crazy. Watching him play was just, I mean, he had all the time in the world, but still, freshman. Arch Manning getting a little playing time back into that Texas game looked like, he might be the best quarterback on their roster.
It might be. Like, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit, but he might be. I'm kind of leaning that way with you.
Yeah, and then Cam Ward in Miami. Shador had a good game. He's probably going to be the top prospect coming out in this class, man. But Dylan Ravioli too. Raiola out in Nebraska. The Patrick Mahomes clone.
Yeah, he's
he lived up to it this week. I mean, you saw it all. Side throws. Quinn Ewers, I think, threw a no-look pass this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the quarterback play, man. Shout out Jeremiah Smith for Ohio State and the 17-year-old kid at Alabama. This kid's supposed to be in high school still.
Yep.
And he 132 touchdowns on some upperclassmen. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be a fun season.
No, definitely gonna be a fun season, and like you said, freshmen are definitely standing out to me. That's one of the things that stood out to me from the jump. Like you said, Kyrell, I mean, to come in straight out of high school and be able to do that, like you said, the Patrick Mahomes clone down there in Nebraska, and we'll talk about him in just a second a little bit more. But, man, that kid looks like he can ball for real, and he's only a freshman. Getting to see Cam Ward, getting to showcase the talent that, if you've been paying attention, really we kind of thought he's been had, but now he's got a team around him. So now it's going to be dangerous out there in Miami, and Miami could actually get back to maybe taking over the ACC. So who knows? That ACC is wide open, especially after we've seen what we've seen from Clemson. Folks, want to thank everybody for watching with us today as we get started here. Make sure you guys go on to Centex Sports TV on YouTube if you want to watch this content every weekday, 5 to 7 p.m. Go on there and subscribe to Centex Sports TV on YouTube, also on Facebook as well. If you want to be able to watch, if you want to listen to this content, you can go to CentexSports1.com and listen to this every single day, or the Centex Sports One app on the Google Play Store and on the Apple Store to be able to catch this content. Like I said, weekdays 5 to 7. So make sure you guys jump on here. Appreciate you guys watching with us. So as we kind of dive into this college football weekend, we got to start with the first game that got everybody started. I think I got a chance to talk to you guys individually about this, but not together on this topic. Colorado beats NDSU, North Dakota State University, who we know is a D2 school, but they are a powerhouse in D2. They started off everyone's college football weekend, and Colorado was able to get a dub against those guys, 31-26, as Shador Sanders shined, had over 400 yards in that game. Travis Hunter looked outstanding in that game as well. 3 touchdowns. Only gave up, I think, 3 catches on the defensive end, played every snap, only gave up 18 yards on the defensive end as well. So we talked a little bit last week about this team in Colorado and how they looked out there. This week, fellas, it's going to be a little bit different of a test. They're going to be able to take on, like you guys said, Ravioli out there in Nebraska. And that kid can ball. Nebraska's looking good. They've got transfers from everywhere. Matt Rule can coach, just in case anybody was wondering, after, I guess, what happened with the Panthers. We don't know how good he can coach NFL football, but for college football, he's proven. We saw what he did with Temple. We saw where he took Baylor in a short amount of time. Now in the second year in Nebraska, Nebraska's looking like they're going to be a tough out in that Big Ten, and they're definitely going to be a tough opponent for Colorado on Saturday. So that's going to be a huge game. Believe it's getting played on NBC, a nighttime game, so everybody's going to be tuned in and watching in that game. So, fellas, what do you guys think about this matchup coming up before we kind of dive back into what happened this weekend? We talked about Colorado a little bit already last week, so what do you guys think about this game coming up? It's going to be in Nebraska, Colorado versus Nebraska this weekend at 6:30. Kyrell, we'll start with you. What do you think about this matchup? Is going to be huge for Colorado and Nebraska.
Man, quarterback play, obviously. And 2, Travis, how does Travis Hunter look against, big D1 talent? And I know he looked good all last year, but he also missed a lot of games. And that offensive line cost us a lot of viewership of, the talent. So now we got Nebraska and Colorado going at it. We have Travis coming off a major, major game on both sides of the football where his draft stock, no matter which position you have him at, it rose. I don't know what he was before, but it definitely rose after that game. I know it was only North Dakota State, but, football is football, and he was dominant. But now, can we see him do it again? Because we just saw, I don't want to mess up his name either, McMillian.
Yeah, McMillian.
In Arizona. Went crazy. Crazy. But I'm looking at him getting chased. And it's the same thing with Travis. It's like, man, I don't really see anybody that's like even close to his like physical attributes, like speed. He's running with everybody, but they're kind of looking like they're jogging,
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm ready to see somebody go up against these guys that are like, okay, I might not have the hands or the ball skills you, but I'm just as fast, or I'm stronger than you. When is he going to come across people that he's just not overmatched? So that's what I'm looking forward to, man. How does Shador and Travis perform against a Big Ten defense? And then on the other side, I'm just going to enjoy the freshman quarterback, Dylan Real. I don't expect him to have a horrible game because Colorado's defense is Colorado's defense, but I do want to see the matchup, man. Like, okay, how does he look versus Shador? What kind of throws are they making? Or is he throwing off his back foot? Is he throwing on the run? How accurate? Where's the balls landing? Because I know they're in different classes, but I think we're kind of entering a golden age of quarterbacks, especially in the lower classes. And then Shador, I think, is going to be like the start of this age, because the talent and the arm talent is just there. It's just there. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
No, definitely. I agree. Seeing these two match up against each other, they both got a lot to prove. Both teams trying to rebound from what was a lackluster year last year. PJ, what do you think about Colorado in the opening week and then this game coming up this weekend against Nebraska?
Colorado, the offense looked pretty good. Shador, he was just, it didn't really look like he skipped a beat, him or Travis Hunter, really just the entire offense. You had Horn out there. You had Jalen Miller got some touches. one of my biggest things about Colorado right now is they have to establish the run. And I've said this about a few other teams like LSU. There's a few other teams that I'm just like, man, you gotta establish the run because that's how you're going to offset the defense. You know what I mean? You don't really want to just be having to be super pass heavy. Definitely when you're playing against certain teams coming out of like the Big Ten or the SEC who kind of have those type of athletes on the other side of the ball that can withstand that onslaught of you just, throwing the ball deep the whole entire game. But as a whole, they look pretty good. The defense still has some things they need to get fixed a little bit. And I'm sure Deion and a lot of those guys that's on the staff is going to fix that going into Nebraska. My biggest thing, though, is with Nebraska right now, they got Isaiah Nayor, the transfer from Texas, and then they got Jamal Banks, the senior, plus this quarterback. I watched that game last week or the other day when they played, and I don't know, man. I'm kind of nervous going into the game just because both of those receivers play outside, and they're both 6'4", 225 pounds. And they're athletic, though. They're 6'4", 225 and athletic. They're fast. They're able to, jump, everything. They're short catchers. They're going to, anytime the ball is in their area, they're going to catch the ball. And I'm just trying to see, outside of Travis Hunter, is the defense going to be able to withstand it, like the cornerbacks or the safeties. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they can kind of run the ball. They got some guys that running back on Nebraska that can run the ball. And that quarterback, Dylan Raiola, he's really good. I found out that the reason why he played the way he played and looked the way he looked is because the same guy that trains Patrick Mahomes trained him.
Yep.
So, it makes sense why the kid really looks up to Mahomes the way he does. I think it's kind of weird, though. You got the haircut. I feel like it's going too far. Like, you got the haircut, you got the same number.
Yeah.
It's like you're doing too much, man. Like you gotta find your own identity, but it's okay. He's young, so he'll learn. But I mean, I like the kid. I like Dylan Raiola. I've been liking him since he was in high school. This Nebraska team looks really good. Matt Rule is a great coach to me.
Yeah,
we've seen what he did with Baylor, so I think it's going to be a great matchup for Colorado. I'm not necessarily sure who's going to win. Like this is not a game where I'm like I was sure that they were going to win going into North Dakota State. Even whenever it kind of looked like it was close, I knew that they were going to end up coming out with the win. But this one of the games, though, that I'm not really too sure. It could be a toss-up. They can easily go in there and win the game, or they can easily go in there and lose the game.
Yeah, I agree. This game is about as close as a toss-up right now. They got Nebraska favored by 7 points. They got Nebraska -7, so Vegas thinks Nebraska looked good, and Colorado's still a little bit shaky. Even though Colorado was able to get the win against Nebraska last year. So that's going to be a really, really fun game, folks. We're looking forward to that this weekend. That's at 6:30. That'll be on NBC, I believe. So to get the nighttime game, primetime, of course, it's primetime. So you got to put him at the primetime on Saturdays. And they'll play against Matt Rule in Nebraska, who looked good. They won 40-7 last week against UTEP. So we're looking forward to that game, folks, as we think about some more of these games from this past weekend. We got to go to one of the games that everybody expected to be one of the best of the weekend. Supposed to be game of the weekend, but it wasn't that at all. Number 1, Georgia beats Clemson. Number 14, Clemson down pretty bad, 34-3 in that game. It looks like Georgia they started off slow, but they ended up picking right back up where they left off for the last, I would say, maybe 4 or 5 years. They've looked dominant, and they're going to jump right back to being dominant is what it looks like, as they were able to get a win over what was supposed to be a really good Clemson team and could still be a really good Clemson team, but just not sure about that after last weekend. Carson Beck, the preseason All-American, first-team All-American, 23 for 33, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks with a 91 QBR. They had a stable of different backs, but Nate Frazier got the majority of the carries, 11 carries, 83 yards. And Georgia looks like Georgia looked, but Clemson did not look how at least we thought Clemson would look. Cade Klubnik, 18 for 29, no touchdowns and a pick for 142 yards, QBR 40 for his rating. So A former Central Texas guy, Cade Klubnik, coming from Westlake, highly touted prospect coming out of high school. I really don't know which way to lean on this. Do I blame Cade Klubnik for the reason that the offense looked, just pitiful, honestly, on Saturday against Georgia's defense? Do I give credit to Georgia's defense for looking like some dogs out there? Or do I blame Dabo Swinney for his, lack of recruiting? Before the game, Kirby Smart, the head coach of Georgia, said they used to see Clemson out on all the recruiting trails together because they're so close to each other. Haven't seen Clemson out there in a couple years on a lot of those recruiting trails. They haven't really been in the same place. I don't know if Dabo Swinney is. I don't know if he's trying to recruit a certain type of guy, or if they're just not getting some of these top recruits, or is his coaching just past the point? Or is he just past the point of reaching these players in his locker room at this point? I think I'm going to lean more towards blaming Dabo Swinney, though. I think Cade Klubnik still has a lot of talent and can still be a really good QB on another team where I think he'll be next year. I'm pretty positive he's going to jump in the transfer portal, especially after Clemson loses about 4 or 5 games this year. If they continue to play the way that they played last week, I think they're going to lose about 4 or 5 games, even though the ACC is, I don't want to say trash, but however you want to voice that on there, then I think they're in 4th place in the Power 4 conferences. I'll say that. ACC not that good in my eyes. And I thought Clemson was going to be the favorite. I'm not sure who to pick out of the favorite now, but Dabo Swinney has been on some down years the last few years, ever since they had that really good run with Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, and even before that, Taj Boyd. They were kind of building something there, and looks like it's kind of tailed off, especially once you open up your season getting beat down like this. PJ, I'll start with you, man. What do you think about this Georgia-Clemson game, 34-3?
Well, the first half, it was really close. If I'm not mistaken, I think going
it
to
was.
halftime, it was like 6-3, I think, going to
6-0.
So it started off very, very slow. Georgia just came out second half and kind of, do what Georgia does. But as far as for Clemson, I really think that Dabo Swinney is going to live and die on the hill of thinking that what I did yesterday is going to work today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really why he's on the hot seat right now. And I think that after this season that he's going to be gone. They're just not getting it done, and really don't have no reason as to why they're not getting it done. Clemson pretty much was a perennial powerhouse just a few years ago, before the NIL and everything, but in the transfer portal. And that's one of the reasons why people have been so hard on Dabo Swinney, because he really believes, I'm not going to go get anyone out of the transfer portal, or I'm not going to be paying these players. And I'm not saying like, oh, man, you need to go broke and pay players and everything like that, or you need to go into the transfer portal and make half of your team from the transfer portal. You don't even have to do that. Just go into the transfer portal and get a few key guys that can possibly come into your program and help y'all, succeed and get better. And I think he's too prideful and is holding the team back, a team that does have they have some really good players that they're going to end up losing after this season. Guys like Brian Westco Jr., the freshman from Midlothian, he was going to go to Texas and then chose to go to Clemson. I think that he's going to end up going into the transfer portal. Even if it's not after this season, he possibly will be in the transfer portal maybe after next season. You never know. Or Cade Klubnik, he's for sure going to leave after this season.
He's out of there.
Because they're going to lose about 4 or 5 games. They're going to lose about 4 or 5 games for sure. So Clemson, to me, it's not even that Georgia looked so good, because, to be honest, I really wasn't just really impressed too much by Georgia. I think Carson Beck, he played a solid game. 23 for 33, 278. I mean, that's good. He had 2 touchdowns and everything. Frazier had like 83 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. They had a few guys get the ball at receiver, with a few receptions. But it wasn't nothing to me too much that I was like, okay, Georgia looks very scary. It was more of Clemson just not being good at all. Bad coaching on Clemson's side. And Georgia pretty much just took advantage of that. Now, Georgia still, to me, have the right to be ranked where they are. I feel like they're still number one for
Oh
sure
yeah,
until
definitely.
somebody else comes and pretty much proves to us that they're the number one team. But I don't think that Georgia is just this team where it's like a few years ago, probably like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever they were on going back to back, where it was like, oh man, Georgia's here and everyone else is here. It's really
Mm-hmm.
not that. If you look at the talent pool, it's really not that. You can look at a few teams that I can see that'll give Georgia a run for their money and possibly could either beat them, probably beat them, or they're just gonna play a very tough game against them. So Clemson, man, I don't know. Dabo Swinney, he's kind of in the same boat as the coach in LSU right now, Brian Kelly. Whereas, like, if you don't get it done this year, which they're both not gonna get it done at the programs that they're at, they're getting fired.
Yeah.
They're getting fired because Clemson is just like LSU or just like Texas or just like Alabama, Georgia, Florida. I feel like the Florida coach, he's gonna go, Bill Napier.
Yep.
Like when you're at a program like these programs who are huge and they're big on winning. They're big on tradition. They've been winning before you came, and they're going to keep on winning possibly after you leave. You know what I mean? So they got too much of a tradition. The fan base is crazy. You got the boosters that's putting all this money into these teams. They're not okay with going 8-4, 9-3, not even 10-2 to be honest. Sometimes.
Yeah.
LSU went 10-2. LSU went what 10-2 what 2 years ago or a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and the fans was like, nah, that ain't good. Like that ain't good enough. So these teams, man, they got a tradition. They got a winning tradition that they really want to stay on. The boosters are putting way too much money, and the boosters have a lot of say in who's going to be coaching these teams. So if the boosters aren't really feeling you, and they're like, man, we putting all our money into this team and everything for them to have all the luxury locker rooms and the good food and everything, but they're going out here and they losing against teams that they shouldn't be losing against. Clemson's going to go out and lose against Louisville. I can guarantee they're going to lose against Louisville. They're going to lose against Miami. They might lose against Georgia Tech. That's 3 losses right there already. And you never know, like with the other losses that might come in between. They might possibly lose against a North Carolina State if North Carolina State starts to play a little better, or maybe UNC, North Carolina.
Yeah.
You just never know, man. So I think Dabo Swinney got to go. And, he has to go just because he's too prideful, and he's trying to. You got to grow with the times. Like, we seen Nick Saban do that around, like, 2016 with Alabama, where it was like, usually Alabama was a team where the offense, they're going to run the ball down your throat, and the defense is going to pretty much just suffocate the entire game. They're just going to keep on putting pressure on your QB. You're not going to be able to do nothing. They got these big linebackers. They're flying around the ball, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the offense was just strictly run the ball. Just run the ball. Around 2016 or I think 2015, that's when he kind of started to change, and you start to see that they became a high-powered offense who was going to throw the ball a lot more. But they still had the great running backs, but they were going to pass the ball a lot more, and that's when you started seeing guys like Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smith. You start seeing them recruit these type of guys, whereas before you might have probably 1 or 2 good receivers on Alabama that you really have to worry about when it came to the deep ball.
Yeah.
Like Amari Cooper, Julio Jones. They didn't really have that many guys that you were like, man, I got to worry about the deep ball on. But now, after a while, you start seeing like, oh man, they got about 5, 6 guys.
No, definitely, and
You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I agree
yeah.
with what you were saying with Clemson. I think Dabo, he's got to adjust, just like you said how Saban had to adjust. I think Dabo's got to adjust, and he's got to make some changes in order for them to pick up some wins. Kyra, about to let you get in on this before we do. For the people that are watching with us on Facebook, the stream is having some issues, so make sure you guys go over to the Centex Sports One app if you want to be able to watch this, or go on to the YouTube Centex Sports TV on YouTube, and you can be able to continue to watch there. That's for our fans that are watching with us on Facebook. Go over to YouTube, Centex Sports TV on YouTube, or you can go to the Centex Sports One app to be able to continue to watch. Kyra, what did you think, man, about this Clemson versus Georgia game we got to see last week?
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think you guys are kind of a little bit. Um, to me, Dabo is out of touch a little bit. He probably should have left when Saban left. Like, these guys are probably kind of cut from the same cloth. I mean, their way of thinking and everything. But when I was watching the game, man, I was seeing guys not in the right spot. Honestly, like I wasn't seeing really just like talent discrepancy. Oh, now it is Georgia. Georgia is more like talented, but these guys were just never in the right position to make a play. Like linemen weren't getting blocks, and defensive players are getting like out leveraged on screens and bubbles. It's just like, man, that's all game plan. Like, there's no. Whenever I see players that are just not in the right spot, I'm always thinking like, okay, he was second guessing himself. So that means he wasn't sure about the scheme, which means you got out schemes. Because if your players are thinking, that means it's not a good scheme. They should just react. So when I'm looking at the trajectory of Clemson over the season, man, I don't really see them losing 4 or 5 games. It's like they got Florida State, I'm sure, and then outside of that, I don't think they're playing Georgia Tech or anybody. Man, they should be an 8-win or a 10-win team. Like this loss, maybe Florida State, but who looked worse, Florida State or Clemson? Like, yeah. And I'm like, play Georgia. Like, it's the number 1 team, number 1 recruiting, top 3 recruit class for like the last 3-4 years. Like, yeah, it's gonna catch up to you, and I think they'll be okay, man. Like, I think Dabo lost in this game, definitely. Whenever you come into a game and it's tight in the first half and then a blowout in the second half, that just means they went in their locker room, hey, let's make some adjustments. They're doing this, this, and this. We're about to do this, this, and that. And then Clemson never adjusted. They didn't have an answer for it. So to me, that's coaching, man. I didn't really see a discrepancy in talent, honestly. Like, it was a few players that was just like, okay, these are the best players on the field. But just overall, I'm seeing plays made by both of these guys, individual plays. I'm seeing good blocks. It's just, hey, I think they got out-schemed. I think they got out-coached and out-programmed. Like, Debo was going to have to look in the mirror. Dabo.
Yeah.
Why is this man's name that, first of all?
I don't know what kind of name Dabo is, but I ain't gonna get on dude's name too much. But I agree with what you're saying, and but I mean, whose fault is it that you got out schemed? That's the coach. That's what I'm saying. I think Dabo might be. If I have to take issue with somebody, I got to take issue with Dabo, because if you're trying to be a top program, I understand you lose to Georgia. 34-3 is unacceptable. The offense looked horrible. We'll see how it goes. I guess the first real test will be North Carolina State, like you said. They got a cupcake schedule. I mean, it's not like they got a lot of teams on here that could. I'm not too high on Florida State at all. They're going to play tonight. Maybe they could slightly change my mind a little bit, but I'm not high on Florida State at all. So they got a cupcake schedule. They can get their stuff together, like you said, and they can. I don't want to say college football playoffs. They're going to get destroyed if they go to the playoffs, based on what we just saw last week. Go ahead, PJ.
I can tell you the teams that they're going to lose against.
Who is that?
I really do think they might be North Carolina State. They got a better chance at beating them, though, than a few other teams. I mean, going into this week, honestly, you got to be careful with Appalachian State, because that's the team that always end up upsetting teams.
Man, if they lose to Appalachian State, it's time for Dabo to go.
You got to, but you know how Appalachian State those do.
Man. I know. They're the upset kings and all that, but if you lose to them, it's Dabo's time is over.
Them. Yeah, you got to beat them. That's unacceptable if you lose against them. But they could possibly lose against North Carolina State. Florida State is a toss-up game for both. Wake Forest, because they got to go to Wake Forest, and Wake Forest offense is looking really good this year. And then I'll say Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville's definitely going to be a tough game, but by that point in the season, Clemson's offense should either be clicking or somebody's going to be fired. So by the time they get to Louisville, either this offense. What'd you say?
I said you think they'll fire him in the middle of the season?
They won't fire Dabo, but they'll scapegoat their offensive coordinator if it looks like how it did last week. I mean, that was just embarrassing. I mean, honestly, that was embarrassing. I mean, you're not even getting first downs. I know Georgia's defense is cold, but let's not act like this is 2009 Alabama or this is 2001 Miami defense or something you're playing against. Like, I mean, come on, y'all. Y'all got to put up more than 3 points if you want to be able to compete at any level. But Dabo, we'll see how it goes for him for the rest of this season, and we'll see what this Clemson team can do, man. Not a great week one, but you are playing the number one team, so I guess that is kind of the scapegoat that you can push out there as a narrative that we are playing the best team in college football. Folks, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to keep talking some more football. We're going to talk some University of Texas, how they shined. We're going to talk about Baylor versus Tarleton, and we are going to talk about Texas A&M as well. Stay right here, folks. You're watching Centex Primetime here on Centex Sports Network and on Centex Sports 1, CBS Sports Central Texas Radio. We'll be right back right after this quick break.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter. Voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021, NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
Are you looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blazing Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the Waco Tribune Herald. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin, we're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blazing Asian egg rolls are rolled fresh daily, and their sauces or marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
It's the family feels for me. The banana pudding peach cobbler make you want to holler for me. It's the candy yams, mac and cheese, beef tips, pork tips and rice, collard greens. It's the sweet potato pie, sweetie. Fried chicken you've been missing, the lemon sweet tea dressing on Sundays when you all dressed up. Chest pie, buttermilk, and pound cake. Cornbread with butter just dripping, always fresh baked. If you need Southern style, soul food, home cooked meals that you can feel. Chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie, 719 South 11th Street. Sassys, come on by.
Central Texas, learn how to be a part of 254 Media Group, home of Magic 94.5, 94.5 The Beat, and CBS Sports Radio 94.5 HD2. Inquiring businesses, please call 254-252-4206. That's 254-252-4206. Or email Roy at 254mediagroup.com.
When you suffer an injury at home, work, or on the road involving a car, 18-wheeler, or motorcycle, the first thing you need to do before calling anyone is dial 1-800-INJURIES for locally owned and operated the Zimmerman Law Firm. Hey, this is Big Rich, and the Zimmerman Law Firm has represented thousands of Central Texans in the last 50-plus years and handled more personal injury cases than any other local firm. When you call the Zimmerman Law Firm, you talk to a lawyer, no matter how big or small your case, and they guarantee you're financially taken care of because they only get paid when you win. Hey, don't just take my word for it. Heart of Texas Readers' Choice has named Zimmerman Law Firm the best in Waco. So remember, if you get injured at home, work, or on the road, it just takes one call, y'all, to 1-800-INJURIES or zlawhelp.com for the Zimmerman Law Firm and tell them I told you to call. Principal Office, Waco, Texas. No fee unless you recover.
CBS Sports Central Texas, KWBT HD2 Waco, Temple, Killeen, Fort Hood is CBS Sports Central Texas, changing sports radio.
Welcome back, everybody, to Centex Prime Time as we get ready to talk about the prime time topics here in the Central Texas area, folks. And had a great weekend of football, everybody, and we're going to get to talk about some of these games that we just saw. We got to talk about this Georgia game and got a chance to talk a little bit about Colorado and what they've got coming up here in the next weekend. But I got to touch on some of these Texas teams. Still here, joined with PJ Gaither and Kyrell Gibson as we go through some of the games from last weekend. And I want to start with, I guess you could say, the state school and the University of Texas took on Colorado State last week, and they did exactly what you would expect. I could say really what you expect and more, because I mean, I expected them to win. 52-0 was the score as Texas really, really shined. They got a chance to show their guys out there and get their backups in as well and get some run in with those guys, as Arch Manning got to get in the game in the second half late. He went 5 for 8, 95 yards, threw a touchdown. Quinn Ewers shined in this game as well, 20 for 27 for 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. This Texas team looks really good, folks. This Texas team is looking like they're poised to make another run at the playoffs. They got to get into the college football playoffs for the first time last year. They graduated some guys. They kind of retooled and brought some guys back as well. They got some guys in the transfer portal, big names like Isaiah Bond. And these guys really shine. They look really good out there. Isaiah Bond and Quinn Ewers look to already kind of have a chemistry there going with each other. They still got some of these other 5 stars that haven't really got a chance to play all the way like that, like a Jonte Cook getting out there. Ryan Wingo looked really good as well. And we got to see Central Texas boy get out there as well. And Trey Wisner scored the first touchdown of the season for the Texas Longhorns. So definitely shout out to him and shout out to his people as well. Fellas, this Texas game and this Texas team, what were your takeaways from this game, seeing them beat Colorado State 52-0? Like I said, I think we all expected for them to come out with the win in this game, but to dominate this way, not even give up any points, not even a field goal to a Colorado State team that we thought would at least be respectable. What are your takeaways from this? Kyrell, we'll start with you. What do you think about this Texas team and how they looked on Saturday?
They look great. I'll say that, man. I don't have much to say about the way they look, because for one, it was a 52-point blowout. Or I can't remember the score right now, but I know it was 0.
Yeah, 52-0.
So, yeah, so you go out there and you don't let the other score any points and you score a bunch. So, hey, all right, good job. But one thing I do want to talk about is, to me, man, I don't know if it's to y'all, but to me, the team looks kind of young.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not really, like, man, I hate to put it this way, but they're not really, like, beefed up. I would expect a major program would be. I'm looking at, shout out Trey Wisner and Jonte Cook, those DeSoto boys, and, Trey coming from where he's really from.
Yeah.
But, we ain't going to talk about that. But, yeah, they kind of look young. And I'm thinking about, okay, this is Colorado State. What about when we play what about
like a homer?
Right. What about when they play these other big programs in the SEC, Alabama? Yeah.
Got Michigan this weekend.
So I'm looking at them, man. I'm just like, they kind of look a little light. They look a little light out there. Like, yeah, they quick and they're scoring touchdowns and everything was good. Isaiah Bond looks like a monster. And I'm just looking at them like, man, this looks like a high school, like, All-American game. Like, they haven't gone through the off-season program yet and put on that 10, 15 pounds. And you vice versa, you look at Alabama, look at their star receiver out there, their 17-year-old. He looks like he's kind of small too.
Yeah.
But he does look bigger than these Texas boys.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, like, okay, all right, look, y'all got the plays down, y'all got the scheme down, offensive and defense. What about when we play Georgia, Alabama? The real hand pop boys over there. I don't know, man. That's what I'm worried about. Like, Quinn Ewers look great. I know he had that pick, but he looked all right, man. I know he's looking behind him like, man, I'm glad this kid ain't tripping, because he could trip. Because like, he might be just as good as a starter, and the football pedigree that's in that last name. We expected nothing less. But I was actually surprised. Like this dude got poised. He got game. Like, and I know you seen the celebration. I didn't know he was a member.
Yeah, he throwing up them signs. I said, "Oh, this guy, he from Louisiana for real."
I said, "What's going on, Archie?" Yeah. That boy a member.
That's walk him down, Archie.
Right. I said, man. But look, shout out Arch Manning, man. Like he's riding the cloud right now, and just learning and enjoying being a celebrity in Austin, I guess. But dude looks like he can ball. But dude looks like he's gonna be the first quarterback out of his class. Because with all the freshmen, I know he's not a freshman, but with all these young cats out there, with all the on-time that guy, I'm still looking at Arch like, yeah, he's probably gonna be the number one pick.
Yeah, Arch looked like you said, man. I don't know, and it's too soon to speak. I know he's you said enjoying his time on the bench, but let Quinn get out there and throw a couple picks against Michigan this weekend. Right. It's gonna be a lot of rumbles starting up down there in UT, man. They don't play. The Manning's got a lot of pull down there, and he been had money, so they're not worried about the boosters. Saying we got to ride with this guy, go with this guy. Yeah, he ain't worried about that at all. They got that Manning money, so they good. PJ, what you think about? What's your takeaways from this game this last weekend, man? 52-0, Texas beating Colorado State.
They did pretty much what I expected them to do. This team probably in college football to be. I gotta disagree. I wouldn't say that they're young because they have a lot of guys from the transfer portal, and I think all 5 of their linemen pretty much all came back from last year. Mm-hmm. And this is a line that's been playing together for the last like two years now. So they're very experienced as far as in the positions that they need to be. I really like that Jade Barron, David Bender on the defense. Them coming back really helps a lot. Definitely with Jade Barron in the secondary, that helps a lot. And then a lot of those guys that's in the secondary, like a Muhammad, a lot of them guys, they were playing last year. And some of those guys played even the year before that. You know what I mean? They probably weren't starters, but they were getting out there. You know what I mean? So I feel like that they're experienced where they need to be. But this is possibly one of the deepest teams in all of college football. I mean, you got Trey Moore, the guy that transferred from UTSA. You got a lot of guys, bro. They can really just rotate, and I think that's what makes the defense look a little better to me than what it was last year, and they looked a lot faster. I think they're trying. I don't know, man. I'm just excited as a fan. I can talk about so much as far as like with this UT program, but I just know that right now they're looking really good. I think going into this Michigan game, the little things that they probably need to work on, I'm sure they're going to fix going into Michigan. But I mean, when you win 52-0, there's not too much that you really need to fix on. You know what I mean? It's just all about making sure that when you're going to Michigan, because we're going to have to play at Michigan.
It's going to be tough.
The crowd is going to be loud. It's going to be a little difficult. So I think, I don't know, man. I think we're looking really good right now. Texas they're going up. It's only going to get better. I think the receiving core is going to be a lot better than what it was last year, just because they have so many guys. So I mean, I ain't got nothing but good to say about Texas right now.
Yeah, I agree. And just piggybacking off your last point, I ask you, PJ, what do you think about this weekend coming up? And they got Michigan at Michigan. Like you said, that's going to be – I mean, that's a huge game to be able to start the season off like that. Second game of the season, and you're taking on Michigan, the national champs from last year, even though they graduated a lot of guys from last year, and but they're still bringing back a lot of 5 stars on this team. You're playing them at home. We know it's a tough place to play. One of the biggest stadiums in college football, or really in just football, period. I think it's 110,000 people that it seats.
That's the biggest stadium.
Yeah, so I mean, you're going to a place like that. That's intimidating. And I know Texas has a big stadium. I think they had 99,000 out there this past weekend to watch them against Colorado State. But it's a little different when those guys are booing you as opposed to 99,000 cheering you on in a really, really tough environment to be able to play. So what do you think about them going forward to this game this weekend against Michigan, and how do you kind of see that one turning out?
I still think Texas is going to win. I'm not really too worried as far as like with the atmosphere, because a lot of these guys played at Alabama last year. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
They've been in situations in different stadiums where it's like it's everyone just against you. So I don't think that. I think that the guys who are older and the guys who played against Alabama last year, which is most of this team, came back. We really didn't lose too many guys. We lost a few guys that were important to the team, but we really, if you go and look at our roster, bro, we really didn't lose too many people. And a lot of these freshmen, they probably played against Colorado State, but some of the guys aren't going to play. I think guys like Wingo for sure is going to play against Michigan. I really, really like Ryan Wingo.
Yeah.
That dude, man, he's going to be a problem for a few years.
Yeah, he can go.
For a few years. But, I mean, outside of him, though, we got a lot of guys like Matthew Golden, the transfer from Houston. Jonte Cook looked really good. Isaiah Bunn looking just like he did at Alabama. And he's one of the guys that I'm talking about that even though he wasn't on the team last year, he played for Alabama for 2 years before this year. So he played in a lot of situations and a lot of big games similar to what they're going to have to face on Saturday. So they have a lot of guys that have the experience that's really going to help them going into this game. And we've seen them go and have to travel to somebody else's house and get the win. We've seen it last year against Alabama. So it's nothing for me to think that they won't be able to do the same this year against Michigan, a Michigan team who, to be honest, didn't really look that good on Saturday against a team that we all thought that they were supposed to go out and just dominate. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
And in the trenches for Texas, they're going to be a nightmare matchup for anyone in the trenches, whether it's on the offensive line or the D-line. They're going to be a nightmare to face up against. So I think that's where Texas is possibly going to get the win more of in just putting 8 guys in the box.
Yeah, it's going to be. Go ahead.
Yeah, force them to pass the ball.
Yeah, I think that's when they're best, or when teams play best against them, is when they force Michigan to throw the ball. I mean, last year, J.J. McCarthy really showed out at times when he needed to. When you think to that Ohio State game, or you think against them at Bama, that's what they did. They forced him to throw that ball, but he made him pay, and he threw the ball at times whenever he needed to, and he did what he was supposed to in that game against an Alabama and against
they not even
Washington in the Natty and all that. So they did what they were supposed to do, but just like you were saying, PJ, this quarterback situation this year is a little bit different. They started how did you say his name? I can't think of the guy's name. Reggie. Yeah. They started him in there, and he played maybe a series, and before they ended up taking him out after he threw a couple knuckleballs into the dirt. So that it's going to be a completely different game plan this year when they play Texas.
I've been seeing guys say that we're going to lose the game against Michigan because of Orgy. That's what they've been saying. They said we're going to lose the game because they got Orgy and they got Warren. And neither one of them looked impressive.
Neither.
I don't know how we're going to lose. How we going to lose against a guy that went 1 for 2 and had 3 yards?
No, it's facts though. I don't understand.
I don't get it.
I don't understand where that comes from, and
Davis Warren was 15 for 25 and 118. That's not that impressive.
No, playing against a team that you're supposed to completely dominate, especially coming off of a national championship. You're supposed to come out there and completely dominate those dudes. So I don't really see that happening against them this weekend. I'm going to go with Texas this weekend. And, PJ, I know you got Texas in this game as well for this weekend against Michigan. Before we go to break, Kyrie, what do you think about the matchup this weekend with Texas playing against Michigan? You kind of touched on it a little bit when you were talking a second ago, but what do you think about this matchup for this weekend, Texas going to Michigan and playing them?
Offensively, I'm a little concerned. I want to see how they look about top tier Big Ten talent. I think they'll win the line of scrimmage, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But it's just time to play football, man.
Yeah.
Like this is it. Like, come on, we've been talking for years and years and years. Texas football this, Texas football that, SEC football that, Big 12 football, Big 10, Ohio State, all that. So now we got it. He's the reigning champs. This is the crown jewel of Texas. What's going to happen? Who's going to win the line of scrimmage? Is it going? Which program? Like this is big. Like this is actually like really, really huge. There's not going to be another. I'm trying to look at the overall schedule, but I can't think about. Is there going to be a game of this much significance in the next 2 weeks? This has got to be the game of the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think so too.
Easily. So, how is Quinn going to look? Like he obviously has his flashes and his shine bright, and a lot of times, but he also has moments where it's like, okay, is that David Ash out there? Actually, I shouldn't even.
You might have took it too far with David Ash, bro.
That's
I'm sorry. All right, my bad. But look, yeah, Texas. This is a big game, man. I'm excited. I keep saying we because Texas is actually never supposed to be sorry. Like I think at some point all of us were Texas fans or rooted for Texas, especially like since 2006. But nobody wants to see Texas lose. Nobody wanted to see them getting stomped on by all those years, getting stomped on by random teams or going to other conferences and just losing. Like that's a bad representation of Texas football. We don't want our guys going to play Clemson or Alabama or Ohio State. We want them here, in Texas now. And it don't got to be the Longhorns, but as long as it ain't the Aggies, stay in Texas, man. So this is really about, bragging rights and like, hey, man, y'all play basketball up there. Y'all don't play football. All right? Whatever y'all think y'all playing, y'all think y'all won this national championship. That was a down year. We don't really care about that, man. This is for the real blue blood and the crown of football, man. College football, really just football, period. We supposed to be on top. This region is king. It's a lot of stuff on the line this weekend, man. I'm excited. Yeah,
I agree. I'm excited to see them this weekend. I'll let you come back in on it in a second, PJ. We're about to go to break, okay. But yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see this game this weekend. Definitely the game of the weekend. No idea why they're playing at 11 a.m. Like, could they not get a better time slot than that? Like, I don't. But college football loves doing that, especially when it comes to Fox, to make you not wake up, but make you have to turn your brain on and watch the best game of the weekend as soon as football starts. But we'll be tuning in for that game, 11 o'clock, Michigan taking on Texas. That's going to be a huge game, folks, and we're all definitely excited here on Centex Primetime. We're going to take a very short break and come back for the top of the hour. We're going to keep going with some college football. We're going to touch on a couple quick takes as well. And at the end of it, we'll round it out with some high school football as well. You're watching Centex Primetime here on Centex Sports Network and on CBS Sports Radio, Central Texas. We'll be right back.
When you suffer an injury at home, work, or on the road involving a car, 18-wheeler, or motorcycle, the first thing you need to do before calling anyone is dial 1-800-INJURIES for locally owned and operated the Zimmerman Law Firm. Hey, this is Big Rich, and the Zimmerman Law Firm has represented thousands of Central Texans in the last 50-plus years and handled more personal injury cases than any other local firm. When you call the Zimmerman Law Firm, you talk to a lawyer, no matter how big or small your case, and they guarantee you're financially taken care of because they only get paid when you win. Hey, don't just take my word for it. Heart of Texas Readers' Choice has named Zimmerman Law Firm the best in Waco. So remember, if you get injured at home, work, or on the road, it just takes one call, y'all, to 1-800-INJURIES or zlawhelp.com for the Zimmerman Law Firm and tell them I told you to call. Principal Office, Waco, Texas. No fee unless you recover.
It's the family feels for me. The banana pudding peach cobbler make you want to holler for me. It's the candy yams, mac and cheese, beef tips, pork tips and rice, collard greens. It's the sweet potato pie, sweetie. Fried chicken you've been missing, the lemon sweet tea dressing on Sundays when you all dressed up. Chest pie, buttermilk, and pound cake. Cornbread with butter just dripping, always fresh baked. If you need Southern style, soul food, home cooked meals that you can feel. Chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie, 719 South 11th Street. Sassy's, come on by.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter. Voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021, NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
Are you looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blazing Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the Waco Tribune Herald. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin, we're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blazing Asian egg rolls are rolled fresh daily, and their sauces or marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
CBS Sports Central Texas, KWBT HD2 Waco, Temple, Killeen, Fort Hood is CBS Sports Central Texas, changing sports radio.
Hello and welcome back into Centex Primetime here for hour number 2. Your host Jalen Gillis, as we are running through all of the primetime topics here in sports. We've been talking college football. We're going to touch on a couple quick takes as we go through hour number 2, and after that, we'll jump on some high school football as well as we keep going in the show. I'm here joined still by Kyrell Gibson and PJ Gaither. Going to bring in another friend of the show here. I got my man Quay here with me as well as we dive into some more of these topics. Quay, what's going on?
What's up, man? We got to go back over. We got to go back over the Michigan topic, though.
I got you. So right before break, we were talking about Texas and Michigan and them going into this weekend. Texas going to Michigan to be able to play there and at a packed house. I'm sure it's going to be a packed house. One of the biggest stadiums in football in America, 110,000. Quay, I'm going to get your opinion on this, man. What do you think is going to happen this weekend, Texas versus Michigan, them going up there, up north to go play some football?
I think Texas wins. I think they put it all together now. They have 2 quarterbacks. They got the running backs. They got the D-line. They got O-line. And in the last couple of years, Texas has had those recruits, but they haven't had that quarterback to just, be able to make them go on that run. So I think Texas wins. And then to chime into what Kyrell and PJ said, I think Michigan winning last year wasn't just totally a fluke, but we know if Georgia made it, nobody beat them last year. So.
No, yeah, I agree. Michigan, it wasn't a fluke last year, but this is a different year and it's a different team. I think J.J. McCarthy was a huge piece to them winning that last year because, like you said, they stacked the box against this Michigan team because we know they're going to run the ball, and McCarthy was able to make those certain throws. Before we get off the topic, PJ, you were trying to say something before we got switched off here into break. I'll let you go ahead and finish this topic off.
No, I was going to say, last time we played Michigan, 2005 in the Rose Bowl, 38-37. I ain't really worried about that. I think it's going to be the same outcome. Yeah,
I agree. I think we're all agreeing on that. I think Texas is going to go in here and get a dub, man. It's going to be a tough place to play. I think it's going to be a rugged game, a lot of running the ball for both teams, hopefully for Texas. I don't want to see Quinn Ewers throwing the ball, 40, 50 times because I don't think that's the recipe for Texas to be able to come out with the win. It's too much decision-making for him to have to make against a really good defense. No, Michigan's defense is going to be stout. Folks, want to thank everybody for listening with us so far today as we are here in hour number 2. Make sure you guys go on to YouTube if you want to be able to watch this content weekdays 5 to 7. Go on to YouTube, Centex Sports TV, subscribe there, like the stream, all of that. You'll be able to watch this. Or you can go on to the Centex Sports One app and be able to watch this or listen to it, whether you're in your car or whether you're at the house, however you want to get this content, you'll be able to listen on there. Or you can also go to CentexSports1.com to be able to listen to that. Want to take a brief intermission talking about football, folks, and I want to talk a little bit about a topic I seen this weekend that I know we will all want to talk about. They were on a podcast called Gil's Arena on YouTube where they talk about basketball and stuff. Gilbert Arenas is the host of that show, and they had some opinions about Kobe versus Michael Jordan. You know, a lot of people say Kobe is the carbon copy of Michael Jordan, and you know how that goes, how that banter always goes between those two players, Kobe and Michael Jordan. There's always a debate about this, but they had an interesting take on it, and I wanted to get you guys' opinion on it. I'm going to play the video real quick.
The MJ, skill-wise, yeah. He took everything Jordan did and multiplied it. He did it better. So
it had more. It added his health to it.
What did he do that MJ didn't do?
He had a fadeaway drive, pump fake, this way.
He enhanced the perimeter skill set. The
so
toolbox on the perimeter.
Yeah.
When you talk about footwork,
better.
So he took MJ's mid-range footwork and he put it to the footwork.
No. Y'all let media
You know I'm a student.
Kobe's, okay, you a student? Then why are you talking about Kobe enhanced MJ's moves when you're only talking about MJ 95, 96, 90? Kobe don't look nothing like MJ in 84 to 93. He don't know who that is. He learned Michael Jordan's old comeback with the post-up fadeaway. That's the MJ he mimicked. He did not mimic Air Jordan.
So that was the take. A few different guys on there: Gilbert Arenas, Kenya Martin, Rashad McCants, Nick Young. We're all kind of debating on that, and I want to get you guys' opinion on this. I'll start with mine. I kind of, they talk about this Kobe and Jordan stuff, and I get it. They did look very similar in stuff that they do, and I get kind of some of the points that McCants and Nick Young were trying to say about, the footwork was a little bit better, a little bit more polished version of what Mike did, and the fadeaway, Kobe added some more moves in there to Mike's fadeaway jumper and all that. But I kind of got to lean towards Kenya Martin and Gilbert Arenas on this. Not even kind of. I'm 100% leaning that way. I never understood this thing of, man, Kobe, you see it recently now. It's not really with, the older generation, obviously, because they'll never say anything against Michael Jordan. But with kind of this 2000s and up generation and 90s babies in there, a lot of Kobe fans, obviously, that's what we grew up watching. And you see them, man, Kobe, he did the same stuff Michael Jordan did, and then he could shoot better, and he had better handles and all that. So he really was more skilled than Michael Jordan, and he could do yada, yada, yada. And I agree to an extent. Kobe was a little bit more skilled than Michael Jordan. But to saying he was a more polished version and he was Michael 2.0, I mean, at this point, it's starting to get disrespectful. And I'm not even I'm not going to say I'm not a Michael Jordan. Obviously, I'm a Michael Jordan fan. But I'm not a Michael Jordan is the GOAT type of guy. I'm leaning more towards LeBron in that debate. But that's another debate for another day. For this debate, them saying that Kobe took what he did and enhanced it, and Kobe was more skilled and could do more, it's starting to get disrespectful. Dude's career average, Michael Jordan's career average is 30 for his career. That includes old man Michael Jordan on the Wizards. That includes those years, and he still was 30. This dude was getting 37, averaging 37 a game, multiple years, and winning Defensive Player of the Year. To say that Kobe's got more skills or he had more moves, what moves? What moves are we talking? What are these moves that we saw that Mike didn't have, but somehow Mike was still averaging 37? Like, we got to stop this, y'all. I mean, I know Kobe, he averaged 36 for that year, and he had the 81 point, but we got to stop this. Kobe Bryant is one of the GOATs. Kobe Bryant is super cold. He got 81 points, one of the best to ever do it. He's not better than Michael Jordan at anything. Let me tell you. He's not better than Michael Jordan at maybe you could say shooting, but I think that's just because they could shoot more in this era than they did with Mike. If Mike would have sat there and shot the three, he'd have shot the three better than Kobe. Kobe's not better than Michael Jordan at anything. Like Gilbert Arenas said, they're talking about all his moves from Michael Jordan when he was old. Michael Jordan in his prime, from, like he said, from 84 to about 92, 93 in there, Kobe don't look like that. Kobe ain't never did. Kobe can't jump like that. Kobe's not as fast as him. Like, I don't understand where this narrative is coming from that's pushed about now, that's now getting pushed about Kobe was better than Mike at this and better. Kobe Bryant is not better than Michael Jordan at anything. I'm saying it. I'm going to stamp it right there and put it like that. Fellas, what do y'all think about that? Quay, you just got on here, so I want to get your opinion on this. What do you think about this Michael Jordan and Kobe thing, man?
Now, let's get it started. Okay. Listen, Kobe wasn't better than Shaq.
Facts.
So we talk about it, and they love Kobe, and I've never been a huge Kobe fan. I would say LeBron's better than Kobe. I would say Kobe played for a great franchise. He was a great player, but he wasn't efficient at what he did. He just won with great.
Yeah.
He won with great teams. But Kobe was a good player. I would not say he even close to Michael Jordan. If that's the case, he'd be top 2 instead of LeBron, him and LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't, these categories come up now. And these days, like you said, more in the later 90s, baby. My closest friends are big Kobe Bryant fans. So I understand, like, when they be like, Kobe the GOAT, but Kobe the GOAT is not realistic.
No, not at all to me. And I understand it, like you said. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Like, guys saying that he, enhanced certain moves and did different stuff. But come on, y'all. Like, we got YouTube.
If that's the case, they saying Ja Morant more talented than Steve Nash, but he ain't got the accolades.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't say it. He better than Steve Nash if he can't do what Steve Nash did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the moves look better. That's what Kyrie Irving going out the eye test. Nah, but to be honest, like you said, Jordan scoring 30, bro. Come on, bro. Like, what are we talking about? With the Wizards scoring, he averaged it for his career.
Yeah, even with the Wizards numbers, that's crazy. I don't get where that comes from, but with Instagram
Kobe
and YouTube,
What he scored in the last game, Johnny?
Who? Kobe.
60
off like 50 shots.
He shot 52 times to get 60, and then his team was terrible at the end of his career. The last 6 years, they didn't sniff anything.
Yeah, they wouldn't even get to the playoffs.
He won the entire Lakers core. They blaming LeBron now, but Kobe started gutting them kids a long time ago.
Yeah.
Julius Randle, all them.
No, I agree. BJ, what do you think about this topic, man, with the Michael Jordan and Kobe kind of debate that kind of started over the internet this last weekend?
It shouldn't even really be no debate. I'm honestly with y'all on everything. It's disrespectful.
Yeah.
it's disrespectful, bro. They gotta chill out. I ain't even really think that this would be a debate for real. I thought we all just knew that Jordan was better at everything than Kobe. Even the little step back that they talking about or whatever, like it don't even really matter. Like Jordan better than him at everything. And I really agree with them for sure when they said that Kobe didn't look anything like Jordan from 84 to 93. Like he never really like looked like that. Like it was never like Air Jordan ever. From when he first came into the league, even when he had the fro, like nothing ever really just looked like Air Jordan. So I don't know where that even came from. I don't even know why they even talking about this. It's not a debate. So yeah, I agree with y'all totally. I don't know. I'm lost for words because it's so disrespectful to me.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't get it, and I see it more and more. They're just like. Of course, I've always seen the Kobe and LeBron debate. Obviously, that's been a debate the whole time.
Come up with stuff to talk about.
It's got to be that. It's got to. But those were former NBA players saying this madness. That's the thing that even though Rashad McCants, we know he'll say anything, but still, I see it from just other people, on the internet or just having different conversations with people. I thought it was kind of a joke at first, but people really believe that Kobe was just as good as Michael Jordan, and I guess maybe Michael just. I don't know what they thought. Like Mike came into the league averaging 28, man. Like let's stop it. He had the foot on the gas the second he got there. Yeah.
You know, there's some old people that say Will Chamberlain to go though. He just the era changed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what these kids gonna say. But these grown men though, so he'll cook all y'all right now.
I mean, every one of y'all for even saying this kind of
It's a better
foolishness.
boots.
Kyrie, what do you get in on this, man? What do you think about this? You know, the Kobe and Jordan, I guess, debate that's just kind of reigniting out of nowhere.
Man, a lot of these dudes, and I appreciate Gilbert for keeping it real, man. But a lot of these dudes from that era that played against Kobe, like they need him to be better than LeBron.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So they put him into this conversation with Michael Jordan when, man, Kobe was always Kroger brand Mike. Like,
yeah,
you know, the same. It looks the same, but it ain't. It ain't. Mike shot 50% multiple years. I don't know, not one year Kobe did that, man. Like, and I hate to say it, man. And I mean, if you're a Kobe fan, I really need y'all to pay attention to what I'm finna say, because I absolutely mean no disrespect. But it was, I just need to recall history for a second. It was consensus before that man passed away that he was not touching the top two. The Bron argument was done. The Mike argument never existed. So the fact that we having these conversations afterwards as Bron gets closer and closer to Mike, this is all just an attempt to keep Kobe in this conversation when he wasn't in the convo. Like, I don't even want to keep referring to it, man, but he wasn't in the convo. Like, that topic was done. Finito. So Rashad McCants or whatever his name is, like, I see your game, man. We not elevating you just because you played against Kobe. You still Rashad McCants. I still had to Google who you were. You on Gil's Arena because you were a good friend of Gil, not because you played in the NBA. Because it definitely, like, dude, stop. We got to stop with this Kobe stuff, man. I love Kobe. Kobe is like the American athlete, a legend for sure. Third all time in my humble opinion. But anytime I see or hear LeBron or Mike, it's just, well, anytime I hear Kobe get compared to Mike, I know they're trying to keep him in that conversation. But it's not happening. It's over. All you Kobe fans, man, all you Kobe fans, he's third. He's third. And it's not up for debate. He's not a better scorer, passer, defender than either one of them three. I mean, the other two. So please, just hang it up, man. It's getting bad. Because now you're getting the man embarrassed, and he should be resting. Trying to compare him to Mike. What is wrong with y'all, man? Like, no, it's not close. Yeah, I get it. It's all about a lot of nostalgia and feelings and emotions when you see this dude. And I get it, man. It was magical that whole time. But it was never Mike, and it was never Bron. And it's just simple as that. He better than Tracy McGrady. Cool. Take that. Run. All right? Y'all want to talk about Bron this, Bron that? Bron got locked up by J.J. Barea? Man, J.J. Barea cooked Kobe, too, on the same year.
Same year.
Swept him. So I don't want to hear none of these comeback shot got there. It's over with. He's an all-time great. He's third behind Bron and MJ. I'm sorry, man, but I'm tired of listening to this McCants dude.
I ain't gonna try. He's not three on my list.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Quay. I got him probably 4 or 5 on my list too. He ain't better than Kareem. Now we're gonna stop that too. Kareem was a winner at every level. They changed basketball rules because of this man. He got 6 MVPs, 6 championships. Like, come on, like, we're not gonna do that with Kareem either. But if we're gonna talk about skill, okay, I got you.
But Jalen, I've been saying they just be trying to be sympathetic since Kobe. That's really why they even be putting him in certain conversations.
Yeah.
Because he passed away. You know how dudes do when somebody passed away, people start, I don't know, it's like they start trying to amp you up. a little more. And I never really thought it was a debate in any way when he was alive. It really wasn't a debate whenever he was alive.
No.
Nobody even dared talk about this. So I don't really know where this is coming from.
Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from, and they're trying to propel him up. And Kobe did what Kobe did. I'm not going to say it like
he's great, but it's like y'all wasn't saying this when he was alive, man. Like this wasn't a conversation. This wasn't a debate.
Yeah, especially not as strong.
Oh, we can't bring that up.
Yeah, especially not at the level that it is now. I've seen some guys, the Steven Jacksons and guys like that, but that's mainly in that crowd of like what Kyrell was talking about. They want Kobe to be the best, so they can be like, man, I was beating. Yeah, it's really anything to discredit LeBron. Most of the guys that played in that 2000s era, anything they can do to just, man, Kobe was tough, but LeBron, the only one that kept it real was Kendrick Perkins. He said we slept good at night knowing we had Kobe the next in the finals because we knew what we was gonna do with him. LeBron, we had no idea. I mean, they beat the brakes off of Kobe and them in 08. What the Celtics did, but LeBron took them to 7 right before that with nobody. He had Sasha Pavlovich starting at shooting guard. Like, come on, man, and took them to 7. And they destroyed Kobe in the finals.
Go look up how much LeBron averaged on all these dudes that be hating on, like McCann. He averaged 38 points on Rashad McCann. How dare you?
38?
Oh, bad. Like, this dude cooked you your whole little career that you had. You only played for like 2 or 3 seasons, bro.
And got cooked all 2 or 3.
I really don't like him, bro. I be watching the podcast, and he be talking crazy.
Oh, he talks super crazy.
Like, where do your credentials even, like, you don't even got the credentials to be talking like that.
He don't.
You was good in North Carolina. You won a championship and all that, but, like, you was cooked. You was cooked every time. I don't be understanding, bro. LeBron averaged 38 on you, and you be talking like he not like that. Like, come on, bro. He cooked you every time he plays you. And that go for every other dude that played against LeBron. None of these dudes was doing nothing. They wasn't doing nothing, bro. I don't really be understanding. I don't be understanding what even possess, what makes y'all even get on there and be talking disrespectful about the dude. You know what I mean? Like when most of y'all teams lost against that dude when he was like 21.
Yeah, he was really a kid almost and was dominating them.
21, bro. You do like 30.
Yeah,
That's why they hate Bron. Not to cut you off. That's why they hate Bron because he did it as a kid. Even when his teammates was mad, like we don't really need him to come in and play.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Bron came with a different narrative. So then you get old and you still this cold too. They hate Bron. They rather give it to Kobe over him just because they gotta watch it.
Yeah. No, that's facts.
We better than us as a kid, man. You better than us as old men.
Yeah, no, I agree. They don't like to give him that credit, and just like you said, Quay, because of the longevity that he had. And I think and that's almost where this Kobe thing comes from with the Kobe and Mike. They want to put Kobe up more so they can be like, nah, because if he better than Mike, then he definitely better than LeBron. Like, come on, y'all, stop it. The Kobe LeBron thing, that's a whole nother topic, even though I don't know why that would be a conversation. But the Kobe Mike, it's got to die right here. It's got to stop. I shouldn't say that. It's got to stop right here with the Kobe and Mike. I'm not gonna say with the Kobe and Mike debate. That's got to stop, man. Like come on, y'all. We talking about Mike. We're not talking about somebody random. So go ahead, Kyrell. You was finna say something?
Oh man, you just had me laughing.
Oh.
But I will say this real quick. I will say this real quick though. Wait, first and foremost, Drake London or DJ Moore?
Man, what? You must be picking in fantasy.
I'm drafting right now.
Like what?
You must be picking in fantasy. My draft is tonight. Hold on. We'll are you drafting right now?
No, we good. But one thing about Bron, man, Meta World Peace was not lying. He told y'all to y'all face that he was killing them boys, or he was beating them at basketball.
Oh my God!
He'll be basketball at 15 years old, man.
Yeah, I seen that too.
Open runs with Mike out there.
Yeah.
So, don't nobody want to accept no kid is better than them at basketball. That's what happened.
Yeah, I think that's where it mostly derives from. It's a little bit of hate, but we'll have plenty of time to touch on the LeBron topics and versus all these other people as we progress into basketball season. Folks, want to thank everybody watching with us so far as we're going to the last half hour of the show. Make sure you guys are following us on our social media, Centex Sports TV on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at Jalen Gillis on there as well. You can watch us on YouTube every day or weekdays, 5 to 7, Centex Sports TV, or you can go to Centex Sports One app and watch there and be able to listen there as well. Want to jump on a couple more college football games, fellas, before we get out of here. Last weekend, we got to see, I guess, the little brother of Texas is what you would say, and Texas A&M versus Notre Dame. It was, I guess some people were saying it was a good game. To me, it was pretty boring. I was watching it and kind of sneaking away, watching it on the side while I was at the Baylor game. And, it was just nothing there. It was nothing really there to watch. Nothing crazy happened. The game was close until the end. Notre Dame pulled away, and A&M laid an egg, kind of the usual of what we've seen in the past, especially when we're talking about A&M. And honestly, they look the same. They fired Jimbo Fisher and, brought in a new coach, a new regime, and was like, it's going to change, and we're going to get all these great athletes that we got to come out here and play better. They were at Kyle Field in College Station. Connor Wigman, he's just not that guy. I don't know how else to put it. He's not the dude. He's not that guy. We saw him last year. He goes out here against Notre Dame, goes 12 for 30, 100 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 2 picks, 31 QBR. Come on, y'all. I don't understand how A&M gets all this top talent every single year and somehow manages to underachieve every single year against a perennial underachiever in Notre Dame, who really was trying to give the game away. They was trying as hard as they could, but A&M was honestly just sorrier and decided they felt like losing more than Notre Dame wanted to lose. And that's how I feel about this game. I don't think anybody really just pulled away and won this game and looked great. I think it was kind of just who wants to lose more in this game, and A&M, as usual, decided they wanted to lose more. So they went out there and lost against Notre Dame. Looked lackluster, to say the least. What do y'all think about this game, man? PJ, we'll start with you. What do you think about A&M and Notre Dame and the 23-13 win for Notre Dame in this game?
Whoever said that the game was entertaining, they lied. They lied. Or they just a Texas A&M fan. I didn't really see nothing good about Texas A&M, honestly. Connor Wigman, I actually liked him coming out of high school. I feel like they be putting him in terrible situations. Definitely with the class that he came in with, all those guys are going now. Like the receivers that he came with, they're all going to different colleges. They already transferred into different colleges and everything. So he don't really have the same guys that he had been playing with. Plus, they lost a few guys from last year that was on the team too that was somewhere decent. But like Anaya Smith, guys like that play key roles definitely ever. But Texas A&M sorry like they always been, and I'm actually happy that they lost the game. They the one team in Texas that I ain't got nothing good to say about ever. I keep it real. Like they good, I say they good, but I ain't got nothing good to say about them ever. I don't like them. I don't understand how you could be a fan of them. I don't even understand how you can go to these schools.
And they stadium stinks.
I don't.
It do. Facts.
They're trash, bro. Like, they're just a trash program. They ain't never won nothing. The last time y'all won something was, like, if I'm not mistaken, was 1939, and that don't count.
Oh, my God.
But college football, bro, be real. No, it wasn't. I know it wasn't, actually. College football wasn't even desegregated yet.
Was anything desegregated in 1939?
Yeah, anything, nothing was desegregated. If y'all won a championship back then, it don't count.
No, I'm not counting the squishy helmet championships.
You never won, bro. They trash. And before that, they won in 1919. So they're garbage program. They should never, ever say anything to nobody else, bro. Definitely not Texas. I seen them all in the comments in the UT chat talking crazy. Didn't y'all just lose?
Yeah, I don't.
How y'all just lose in our chat talking crazy? Y'all will lose against Baylor right now. They'll lose against Baylor right now, bro. I'm putting Baylor as the number 2 team in the state of Texas right now. They'll lose against Baylor. And I really go further. This might be going crazy. SMU will give them a good game.
Yeah, I was about to say SMU in the ACC now. They got to look out for them.
Yeah, Preston Stone them will give them a good game, bro. They might beat them.
UNT quarterback threw for 400.
Yeah, UNT got a quarterback too.
Yeah, like come on now, like y'all not really like that. Y'all never really been like that. Y'all always been a little brother. Always been a little brother. I can't wait until we play them because we gonna whoop them.
Last game of the season.
We gonna whoop them. It shouldn't really. And the only reason why it's the game of the season is because Texas, we bring a lot of clout. We bring a lot of clout with us. They don't really bring nothing but L's. They lose every year, bro. Every year coming into the season, they top 5, top 10, or in the top 25 or something just to lose. I don't understand it, man. But yeah, Notre Dame went out there and did what they had to do. I'm not really sold on Notre Dame ever.
No.
I'm never on Notre Dame. I don't think that they're really that good, to be honest. They got some guys on the team though that can play for sure. Their defense is good, but I don't think I'm not really sold on them. I do think that they're going to still be in the college football playoff just because of the 12-team format now. But I'm not really sold on them as like just a top team in the nation though, not at all. But I mean, they went out there and they handled business. They did what they had to do to come out with the win. And so, Texas A&M, they're trash. I don't really want to hear them talking no more.
Yeah, A&M, they look like A&M out there, and that's really all you got to say is they look like A&M. Kyra, what do you think about this game last weekend, A&M versus Notre Dame?
Yeah, big old news fest, man. I tried to watch it, I really did, but it's just something about seeing them pep rally leaders, and I just can't do it, man. Notre Dame's running back is really nice, though.
Yeah,
I like him. I think he's outbound. Yeah, I remember they had these recruiting classes these last couple of years. They've been kind of hanging. I don't know what Jimbo was doing or what he was telling them folks, but they were signing with Texas A&M.
It's called money. You wasn't telling them anything. They was getting cash. That's all that was.
I'm trying to I know a lot of guys went to Ole Miss, ended up transferring, things like that. But I was not impressed with them, man. And I don't think they're going to be impressive this year in the SEC. They're going to, be a little brother and get stomped on. That's what little brothers do. Yeah, those guys, they held their own, man, I guess. But Baylor did what they were supposed to. Sure. I'm really liking the new number 6, man. Shout out Tevin Reese. I think that was
Richard Reese.
Yeah, but he made a pretty good move up the sideline to get in the end zone, and he's looking like a player.
Hawkins.
Hawkins. But Tevin Reese was 60.
Yeah.
Okay, well this player is number 6. Hawkins is number 6. There isn't there, so I just wanted to shoot the comparison out there, man. But we'll see. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but this is another team that I'm looking at and I'm like, they look like they got a lot of high school kids. I'm not really seeing like young adults. Well, I guess 18 is a young adult, but I'm not really seeing like that 22, 21-year-old body style where it's like, gosh, like these guys are really built. These guys are really pack a punch. And so I'm just looking to see how they're going to hold up in conference play. These other big schools, how are the younger teams going to outplay the more upperclassmen built teams? So we'll see how it pans out. But I have nothing to say about Baylor.
No, I like you said, they did what they're supposed to do against this Tarleton team, and excited to see how they can move. And they got some big dudes on the D line, man. So watch them if you're trying to see the big. I don't want to say that. if you're looking for the older looking guys, I guess look at the D line. They got some dudes on that D line. I think that'll probably be the premier unit for Baylor. Quay, if you got to watch some of this game, man, what'd you think about Baylor this last weekend, and then what do you think about them this weekend coming up against Utah?
I missed the entire Baylor game. I had to go catch it.
Yeah.
But it was just because it was Tarleton. So I figured they'd take care of business. But last year they embarrassed me. But I'm more excited for next year, Baylor. So I know they're bringing in a way better class, and I know they did. Like, I know some of the coaches personally, so I know they are getting recruits that people didn't know they could get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they are going in the right direction, and they are not opposed to making sure these players get what they need to make sure that they come play in Baylor. So I think that Baylor will be better next year, but I think against Utah, they could beat Utah, bro.
Yeah, I don't think that's a stretch to say that.
I don't think Utah just no crazy powerhouse, and when they got players that just gonna make them take over. I don't see Utah winning the Big 12.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Utah is. I mean, they played a good game this weekend, obviously. So I don't want to say like they just look sorry, but they did what they're supposed to do. They played Southern Utah, so I mean they blew them out 49-0. But that's what you would expect to see. I don't see Utah. I don't think Utah is going to be as good as maybe some people have them ranked. They got a lot of people have them winning the Big 12. So I think this is a very winnable game for Baylor, and excited to see how they'll fare against them. PJ, what did you take away from last weekend with Baylor, and then looking forward to this coming up weekend against Utah?
It was kind of like what I said earlier. The defense really was rallying around the ball. They got some big guys on the D line, though, man. I think they got a guy that's like 6'8".
Yeah,
like
they do.
6'6". Yeah, dude, big. He look like Sean Oakman almost.
Yeah.
So the trenches for Baylor on both sides of the ball is what's really going to catapult them into being really good teams in the Big 12 this year, because they're going to be able to really just get pushed off the line. So I think as a whole, as a team, they're looking really good. I like that Dave Aranda now, he's calling plays for the defense because it helps a lot. They really needed him to do that, honestly, from day one. And I thought that's what he was going to do when he first came to Baylor, was going to be the play caller for the defense. But like I say, like he's doing it now, so you can kind of see the benefits of it if you really just look closely at the Tarleton game from this past Saturday. The offense is explosive. I really like defense. I just want him to kind of cut out making certain decisions. You can't be throwing into, double coverage, triple coverage. Like that's not going to work. Definitely coming this Saturday whenever they play Utah, a team who they'll make you pay. Utah really make you pay, and they got the athletes on the team, to kind of hurt you if you out here throwing into double coverage. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I like defense. He showed a lot of potential. He showed really what this Baylor team, where they can possibly be at, if they just keep on hitting on all cylinders like they did this past Saturday. I love the receiving core. I didn't even realize that they were that deep at receivers until this Saturday. So to see how they played, I really liked it. Like I said, they played against Tarleton. And Tarleton not just a trash school, you know what I mean, when you speak on just like FCS, of course, but they did what they were supposed to do. So to see them do that kind of tells me that they got to be, Baylor has to be somewhat special coming into this season.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm ready to see what this team can do. And you made a good point that Dave Aranda coaching the defense now, I think it's going to make a huge difference for Baylor. He's been here for a few years now, and we brought him in as a defensive guy. He was a defensive coordinator on that national championship team. And so I'm excited to see how he can coach this team up. And, I mean, Utah, they're a tough team, especially playing them at Utah. I'm not trying to downplay it, but this is definitely a winnable game for Baylor, and I'm excited to see them go out here this weekend. I think that game is at 2:30, and Garmin Randolph was the dude you were talking about, PJ, when you said they got some big dudes on the D-line. He's 6'8", 260, so, I mean, he's a big dude, and they got other guys like that on that D-line, so the D-line looked good last week. They did what they're supposed to do. Obviously, it's Tarleton State, but we'll be able to further evaluate them as we come up, as we go forward into the season. I think Florida State and Boston College just kicked off. That game is on ESPN, and I'll be tuning into that as we get out of this. We got about 10 minutes left to go here in the show, folks. I want to thank everybody that's been watching with us so far throughout the show. And make sure you guys like and subscribe to our pages like I've been saying throughout the show. Kyrell, you were talking a little bit of fantasy football, man, and we got a couple minutes left in the show. And my fantasy football draft is also tonight, and I need to know what picks do I need to make as well. So who do you think, man, who do you got for your first pick in your draft? I know you I don't know if you drafted already or not yet, but who do you think needs to be your first pick off the board?
Hey, man, CDs, TDs.
Oh, man, here we go.
All I need is all I got to say. First overall pick. It's either that or Tyreek, man. Christian McCaffrey. I mean, it depends on what kind of league you're in, too. So, Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill. I'm oddly enough, man, I saw Bijan was the, number one, auto pick, you know?
Yeah.
He was up there for you. I'm like, okay, well, I see a lot of weapons over there. I know they're going to figure their top pick the ball, but, yeah, man, I went CD. I had the third pick in the draft, and the first two guys auto-drafted, so they took Christian and Bijan, and I got CeeDee Lamb, man. I think he's the only option. Look for, players that are only options on the team, only option of running back, only option of receiver. And just go from there, man. If you're in a PPR league, wait on those quarterbacks. But I will say this too, man. Pacheco. Don't fall for that Pacheco postseason last year, man.
From Chiefs.
They signed Samaje Perine. Yeah. I think it's going to be a divided backfield this year.
I'll never pick a Chiefs running back.
Yeah. I'm not on Pacheco like a lot of these guys are.
Yeah, they always splitting carries. But kind of staying on that topic, as we get to the last few minutes of the show, who are some sleeper players just this year that you think are going to make a lot of noise switching to NFL? We've been talking college, but switching to the NFL, Quay, and I'll start with you, man. Who is we'll see if he gets back on here, but I want to know some of the sleeper, who are some of the sleeper players that you guys think are going to be in the NFL this year? We know the big name guys like a Jettas or Devontae Adams, guys that Christian McCaffrey that always do good every single year. Quay, I'll start with you on this. Who you think some of the sleeper guys in the NFL are going to be? Somebody that's going to have a big season this year that maybe a lot of people aren't talking about so far this year.
I know who ain't gonna have a big season. Doyle from the Cowboys. They done made him the starter. What are we talking about? I think I'm gonna go my team because I'm biased. But I know Ricky got hurt, but I think he gonna have a good season at receiver.
He got shot. He ain't get hurt.
Well, he hurt. Man. He hurt. He hurt, man. He's gonna be back, man.
No, I agree.
I think he'll have a big season at receiver. I'm trying to think of just some sleeper picks.
Sleeper pick is a Trey
anybody
McBride,
for the
man.
Texans right now, bro.
Who you talking about?
Anybody for the Texans right now?
Oh yeah,
sleeper.
Yeah, Tank Dell definitely gonna have
anybody like sleeper Texans because they got everything that they need. They got the playbook. They got the quarterback to make the. So I just say there ain't anybody that play for the Chargers. I'm just giving teams that's giving their players opportunities to be what their players need them to be.
Yeah. No, I agree. Jesse Palmer definitely can have a good year.
I don't want to give you one or two players. I'm just telling you the team and the system that I see right now that's going to give their team. The Chargers needed a rebrand, so I feel like they're going to give all their players the opportunities that they need. They got the coach. They know what they're trying to do. And then I think the Texans. So
yeah. No, I agree. Kyra, I'll come back to you. I'll let PJ get on here. Who is somebody sleeper if you think talking NFL, just like somebody that's going to have a good season that everybody ain't talking about right now?
The entire receiving corps for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, any one of them.
I think they're going to really benefit. Whether it's Keenan Allen,
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
They got guys, bro. I think they're going to really do good. And then that's going to also help the running game because so many guys are going to be keying in on their receivers. That Roshan Johnson out of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
What's another? They got another guy running back.
Yeah, they signed a back. I can't remember.
Yeah, they signed somebody. Either way, though, the running back core is going to be really good too, just because they got so many receivers. So I think the Chicago Bears, the receiving core, and also the running back room for them is going to really be good this year. They're a sleeper. And then I'll probably say
Swift. That's who. DeAndre Swift. My bad, I forgot.
Yeah, Swift. Yeah. I think the Chargers' defensive backfield is going to be. I think their defensive backfield is going to be really good this year.
Asante
really
Samuel.
Better than what they already have been.
They low-key been having guys, though, for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're going to be really good this year. That defensive backfield for them is going to be tough. So those are my two sleepers.
Yeah, I agree. Like Quay said, they always got a couple dudes back there in the secondary. They still got Derwin James, who might be the best safety in the league. So when you got him, you got Asante Samuel Jr. I want to see if JT Woods will get some more burn this year. The former Baylor Bear. They drafted him as safety a couple years ago. See if he'll get some more burn out there. Kyra, who are some? I heard you say a couple, but who are some sleeper guys that can have a big year that dude's not really talking about? I heard you say Trey McBride. I don't know. Do he count? The Cardinals gonna win one game.
Hell yeah, but he gonna win you a lot of games.
Yeah.
So guys, I'm thinking guys are gonna be keying in on Marvin Harrison Jr. and James Conner had a sneaky good year last year. Yeah. And I'm looking for a bounce back Kyler year, man. I don't think he's gonna go away yet.
I agree.
He still can play in this league. He's shown that already. So I think Trey McBride, that tight end down there in Arizona, is going to be great. I think the Bears receiving core, that was a great point by PJ, man. I think if you can get Terry McLaurin, like I have in the later round, as a single receiving option for a rookie quarterback, I think that's a great pick in the later rounds, man. Like I would look try to grab Terry McLaurin, Trey McBride, and DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, and even a DeAndre Swift out the backfield. There's a player in Chicago, whether he paints his nails or whether he like that stuff or not, man, the dude can throw the football. And he's going to get all those stars out there, all those athletes the ball. And do not fall victim to the history of the Chicago Bears. Like, that thing's going to – I don't know if they're going to be winning a lot of games, but they're going to be scoring points on offense. Like, it's there. And you put talent next to talent, it's going to produce.
No, I agree. I think Chicago, I mean, they got a chance to be pretty good, man. It's not like the NFC North is just crazy anyway. I mean, you got Detroit obviously, but Green Bay had a good last end of the season, but I'm honestly already starting to think they're getting overhyped with a lot of stuff they're doing out there in Green Bay. I know Jordan Love had a good end to the year, but come on, y'all acting like he Aaron Rodgers out there. Like, y'all taking it a little too far. So Chicago, they got a chance, man. They went undefeated in preseason. And what'd you say?
I said he looked like it in that playoff game.
Yeah, he looked like it against the Cowboys, but a lot of people might look like that against y'all last year. But that's a whole nother topic, and we're pretty much out of time. My two sleepers that I'm going to say, one could possibly lead the league in yards at the receiver position, and if not lead the league, top three, and that's Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson is going to have a great year once he gets back there with Aaron Rodgers. He's already used to throwing to a number 17. It's going to look the same out there. This dude might be the most agile receiver in the league, maybe outside of Tyreek Hill. And just as far as you talking about, like, just first step and kind of those twitchy type of cuts, I think Garrett Wilson is going to have a great year. And my second one is his teammate, Chris Olave, man. Chris Olave, they don't have much going on in New Orleans. And Chris Olave might be the only thing going on their offense in New Orleans. I think he's going to get a lot of play this year. He's going to get a lot of targets this year. No more Michael Thomas. Alvin Kamara, we don't know what's going to happen with him. He's injured sometimes. Sometimes he's beating up people. So I don't know what's going on with Alvin Kamara. And I think Chris Olave is going to get most of the looks out there going into next season. So those are my two sleeper picks, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, two Ohio State guys. Also interested to see what Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to do on that squad with the Cardinals. I like what Kyrell said about Kyler Murray. I think he's going to have a good year this year too. They won't win many games, but as far as what they'll do on offense, I think Kyler Murray will be pretty good. Folks, I want to thank everybody for watching with us today, man. Got a lot of fun. Thank you to the fellas for joining on the show with me today as we close this one out. We have more football to talk about as the week progresses. We'll have a couple coaches on as we get throughout the week, guys, and we'll talk some more high school football as well as we get later into the week. Once again, make sure you guys go onto YouTube and subscribe to the page, Centex Sports TV, on there on YouTube, and also CentexSportsNetwork.com. You can check us out on Instagram at Centex Sports TV, and you can follow me on Instagram at Jalen Gillis on there as well. If you follow me on there and Centex Primetime, you'll see these other guys that are on here as well. They're mentioned on a lot of these videos, and their handles and IG tags will be on there as well. You go onto the Centex Sports One app, download that app. You'll be able to watch this footage every single day, 5 to 7, or you'll be able to listen to it as well. Or you can go to CentexSports1.com to be able to listen to this every single day. Getting ready to sign off here today, folks, is Jalen Gillis, the host of Centex Primetime. I will see you guys tomorrow, 5 to 7 p.m. We'll be back the same time. Have a good Labor Day, everybody, and a good evening. We'll see you guys next time.
Central Texas, KWBT HD2 Waco, Temple, Killeen, Fort Hood is CBS Sports Central Texas, changing sports radio.